I'm going to tell you what the most successful kids in my program do. And you're going to be sick to your stomach. But I'm going to tell you. Number one, they all work on their laptop on a treadmill. Treadmill, you understand me? Verstehen? Okay. 4 kilometers an hour seems to be the right pace. Okay. Number two, they close down their Facebook. I'm going to say it real slow for you. Close down their Facebook. Okay. Number three, they get rid of their dipshit current colleagues. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Upgrade them. You don't want to associate with anybody in this room, any of you. Upgrade them, okay? Number three, they either disassociate 100% or nearly 100% with their parents. We've had people that I've met, young girls, that talk to their mother 15, 20 times a day on the phone or texting. That's a neurosis. That's sickness. Okay, next thing they do is go out and find high-performance people. Well, I don't know where to look, Mr. Big. It's on my goddamn website. Number five, increase your communication skills or the lack thereof. High performers can talk. Number six, take a class in leadership. It's also on my website. Number seven, make a hard decision whether higher education is for you or not. And I'm not telling you to quit school, but I didn't need to go back to school. The only reason I went back to school was I flunked out 3 times, and it was a matter of honor, principle, or I don't know what. Do you know when the first electric car was, Joe?
Yeah, a long time ago. It was in the early 1900s,
no,
right?
1860s.
Was it really?
Okay. If we really wanted electric cars, it was the first car. For 20, 30 years, they only had if we really wanted electric cars, don't you think we could have developed them by now?
Well, we definitely should have, but the influence of the fossil fuel companies.
Correct.
Yeah.
And do you know why Aramco is going public, the national oil company of Saudi Arabia?
No.
Okay. You're going to hear it first here.
Jesus, I can't believe this.
Okay. They're selling 2% of the company, not because they need money, because they've got all the money in the world. They want, because when you go public, you have to have a reserve report. The reserve report is going to show how many barrels they have. Proved producing, proved, unproved. And we've been guesstimating for years and years and years that Aramco's got a couple 100 million barrels, maybe 300, 400, 500 million barrels. Billion barrels, excuse me. You read all the podcast, you read all the stuff. See, you've been deluded, bullshitted into believing that reading is taking action. You've been deluded into believing that listening to a podcast is taking action. It's not. The only thing that's taking action is pulling a motherfucking trigger. Take fucking action. Weak cunt. If you're going to be a weak cunt, that's right. There's strength in numbers. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. High self-esteem people don't hang out. They don't go to the fucking Super Bowl. They don't go to the Dodger games. They don't go to the Laker games. They still got those teams here? Yeah, okay. They don't do any of those things. Eagles fly alone. I have no friends. Friends are problems. Friends are challenges. If you're not into yourself enough that you can't spend the weekend by yourself, something's fucking wrong with you. If you're not being a high-performance person and accomplishing high-performance acts, something's wrong with you. Strength in numbers, that's what you're taught. That's wrong. If you're going to be a weak cunt, that's right. There's strength in numbers. You know, if you want to be a weak cunt, that's great. But if you want to be something other than a weak cunt, then you're by yourself. Because you think life is a journey. That is horseshit. Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded. You think life is a journey for the Trump kids? It's a motherfucking process. The same process his daddy raised him by. If you just want to be a happy, slappy guy who goes to the Little League games in Mesa, Arizona, then that's okay. But if you want to create some fucking money, it can get fucking ugly. Because that's life. And if we admit it to ourselves, then we have an opportunity to move on. Because we have no balls. We have no self-esteem. We're going to ask you, we're going to demand from you, each and every one of you, to scare yourself every day. Some of you will come back to me. I was at the 24-hour gym and I asked the girl for a phone number. I'll be depressed when I read that. Or I was at Starbucks and I told somebody that cut in line in front of me to get to the back of the line. I'll be depressed when I read that. Or somebody cut you off in traffic and you flipped them off. But if you flip them off, then you stand the chance the fucker will stop his car and come out and beat the fuck out of you. So you're not going to flip them off. Unless you're getting ready to get on a thoroughfare and going 80 miles an hour, and then you know you can get away. We have men now that have little or no confidence, no moral fiber. They don't. I'm not sure what we call it for gals, but women excel in this program better than men.
I must come to your seminar, boot camp.
You guys wouldn't know a boot camp if it bit you in the dick. We had people shit their pants in the seminar. I just kept rolling. I've had people piss their pants in the seminar. I just kept rolling. When I was at the Naval Academy just a few weeks ago, we had a guy go into seizures and convulsions. I just kept fucking rolling. Because that's life, guys and gals. Nobody gives a fuck about your sorry vagina. Nobody. Bill Gates doesn't give a fuck if you live or die. Don't you fucking get it? Dalai Lama. How many of you went to the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday party? I didn't think so. Okay. He says, meditation is wonderful. Spirituality is wonderful. Prayer is wonderful. But taking action is the best of all. That's from the motherfucking Dalai.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it true your dad put a loaded gun to your head, and would you recommend that type of parenting?
It's true he put a loaded gun to my head. I would not recommend that, but it worked. People say, how, people say, how did you not?
Before or after you dropped the fish tank?
Yeah, it was after the fish tank. But he said, I never did drugs, and people say, well, how could you not do drugs in the 60s? I didn't, and the reason I didn't do drugs is that my father sat me down when I was about your age, 15. He took a loaded revolver, 38, and he put it to my head with a hammer back, and he put it to my temple. And he said that there's only one cure for motherfucking drugs, and that's a motherfucking bullet in your motherfucking head. And I'm the motherfucker that'll put it there. And my mother's screaming and crying, Manny, 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 you might pull the trigger by accident. And he says, it won't be by accident. What I do, and before they put dirt on me in 50 more years, is I want to minimize people's regrets. Okay, and because we all have regrets, and I told you what my 3 regrets were earlier in your program here, but I mean to minimize regrets, and the millennials will have a different sort of regrets. Right now, for the past 7 or 8 years, we've had free money. Interest rates have been free. It's literally free. 100 years from now, they're going to say, what the fuck were you doing when they were giving away free money? I mean, literally. The people that are listening to this, 20 years from now, their children and grandchildren are going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, what the fuck were you doing other than having your thumb up your ass during the period of free money?
Now, when you say interest rates are free, you talking about business loans?
Correct. I mean, you can, it's never going to get, well, it can only go up from here. And Yellen, the head of the Federal Reserve, has already upped them once, and she says, I guess she's going to up them a couple more times. But historically, interest rates ought to be 8, 10, 12, not 2, 3.
Right.
If you can't make a business proposition work at 2 or 3% interest, best advice I've ever given anybody is just fucking do it. We take too much time procrastinating. And because we're afraid of failure, and fear is false expectations appearing real. But the bottom fucking line is, if you had 15 years ago you had just done it, 10 years ago you had just fucking done it, 5 years ago if you had just fucking done it, 6 fucking months ago if you just fucking done it, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in now. It's just like I told you, I looked at your Facebooks and you should just all close them down. And I asked you, I think the first day, why do you put shit like this on Facebook? Some of you are guilty of it in this room. Why? Does anybody want to tell me why? Okay, self-sabotaging activity, and you want to be liked by the other. Do you know how incredibly asinine that is? How incredibly asinine. It's beyond befuddling to me. It's beyond exasperating to me. And it's getting worse, which means it's easier for us during this era. And I come from the barrio, the hood, gangland, so to speak. Not so to speak, for real. And when you paid off your mortgage, they would have a mortgage burning party. So they'd bring all the family together and you'd have a barbecue and you'd burn your mortgage. And when I was about 17, 18, 19, I said, what the? You're burning the only bloody piece of paper that says you own this goddamn piece of crap. Are you morons? That's where I come from. What were you doing between 17 and 21 other than jacking off in front of your computer? You ought to be fucking embarrassed. I've got teenage multimillionaires, and there he is in his jet plane. Came to me when he was 17, he's 21 now. 17! Does that resonate with you fucking idiots? There are people in this audience today that have never been spanked by their parents. They have never been reprimanded by their parents. They have never got in a schoolyard fight. They wouldn't say shit if it was in their fucking mouth. And that's why I call you snowflakes. Because you melt under fucking pressure. Do you want your kids to grow up like the guys you hang with, that you fucking chill with? Bill Gates doesn't hang. Warren Buffett doesn't chill. Henry Ford didn't chill. Steve Jobs, who I knew, didn't chill. I don't chill. High performance people fly like eagles. Eagles fly alone. Zuckerberg has no mates. Elon Musk has no mates. Steve Jobs had no mates. Bill Gates has no mates. And I can go on and on and on and on. They don't hang. They don't chill. They don't go to the Super Bowl. They don't go to the World Cup. Yeah. They don't go to Wimbledon. All they do is work. I fall into that category.
Money all of the time.
Okay. Sit down, please. Sit down, please. In the front row. Excuse me. In the front row. Please sit down.
55,000 years ago, the world was 2 degrees warmer Celsius than it is today. This is 2011. And, stop. And he said, and I said, well, you mean the whole world? He says, yes. And I said, well, what about the things that the young woman alluded to? Okay. And he said, it's all cyclical. And although the gas may have exacerbated it, in the cosmos of time, it's not a fart in the wind. Of the 13.8 billion years that we've been on this miserable planet, it's not a fart in the wind. Now, my direct answer to your question, if that were really true, which you believe, that means that the best scenario vis-a-vis global warming... That when you giggle and you laugh, it's because you're reflecting. And anybody that's beyond the 3rd grade understands this. Everything that people say isn't fucking funny. And by the look on your faces, I can't believe that nobody's ever told you that. Has anybody? Well, I guess not. I mean, I won't say you look depressed, but some of you look depressed. Now, how is that 25 years, 35, 40, 45 years old that nobody's ever told you the reason why you giggle and laugh is because you're insecure, you have low or no self-esteem, and it's a coping mechanism. Has anybody ever heard that in this room before? Other than from me? 2, 3, 4. For me. I mean, I'm transparent. I've told board members, shut the fuck up. It's not funny. Shut the fuck up. It's not funny. Or I'll say, what's so fucking funny? And these are the things that people pick up on. That's why I like face-to-face meetings, because I can, and I don't like sitting in rooms. There's a reason why I can see your feet. So I can see if you're, you know, all these things count. There's no such thing as work-life balance. None! There are work-life choices and you make them and they have consequences. So for those of you on YouTube that are looking for work-life balance, go fuck yourselves. It's a joke. You want to fit in. You want people to like you. Why? Because you've had poor fucking role models. And who's your role model? Mommy, maybe daddy, an older brother, a grandparent. How were they made to be put in a position to create high-performance people? And most of the people that you hang around with are mental cripples. And I'm not here to insult your ethnicity, but I will. I'm not here to insult your religion, but I will. I'm not here to insult your gender, but I will. Because in the real fucking world, nobody gives a fuck. Political correctness is nothing more than a manifestation of lack of fucking self-esteem. The way you build high self-esteem, if you're 25, 35, or 45, is to surround yourself with other people that have high self-esteem. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so you can reverse your childhood by who you associate with. Mr. Carnegie was a hard bastard. Vanderbilt was a hard bastard. Henry Ford I was a hard bastard. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. As Apple CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, he's a hard bastard. Why are all these guys that changed the world got one thing in common? Elon Musk doesn't go to Super Bowls. Elon Musk doesn't go to the World Basketball Championships. Eagles fly above. Eagles fly alone. I got 2 or 3 guys I know for 50, 60 years. That's the extent of my friends. It's hard. You have to get used to being alone and not being lonely. It's lonely at the top. And whoever said it's hard to get to the top, but it's harder to stay there. You know, I've been from the penthouse to the shit house a couple of times, and I didn't like the shit house. So I made sure I got right back to the penthouse as fast as I could. Before you get serious about a girl, look at the girl's mother, because that's what she's going to look like. And if the mother looks like the front end of a Volkswagen, or the back end of a Volkswagen, or any part of a Volkswagen, that's most probably what the gal's going to look like. And that was damn good advice. I mean, success is like being pregnant. Everyone says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. You have 3 million pores in your body. 3 million. I've been fucked in every one of them at least twice, in a bad way. Success is like being pregnant. Everyone says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. I asked the TED Talk a couple days ago, kids, what if you weren't afraid of anything? How would your life have changed? I'll ask you the same question. What if you were afraid of nothing? Man, beast, financial, bankruptcy, nothing. Do you understand what that would mean? And the lower the IQ, the more money they make. If you're an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a scientist, PhD, etc., you have learned to study and to take action in a certain fact pattern. That is, well, how's the wind coming? Is the sun at my back or is the sun at his back? How many of them are there on their side? How many? You go through all these permutations. A good entrepreneur makes decisions a lot based on his gut. And the lower the IQ, the more money they make. If you're an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a scientist, PhD, etc., you have learned to study and to take action in a certain fact pattern. That is, well, how's the wind coming? Is the sun at my back or is the sun at his back? How many of them are there on their side? How many? You go through all these permutations. A good entrepreneur makes decisions a lot based on his gut.
You support Trump? You do?
Yep.
Okay.
I was one of the first endorsers, public endorsers of President Trump.
What are you guys going to do when our ocean level rises?
Thank you for asking that question. I have the answer.
No, let me finish.
I have the answer.
Let me finish.
Okay. In 2011, my wife and I were in Antarctica, renewing our vows. There is a $500 million facility, scientific facility there, and the scientists came to give us presentations about global warming. 55,000 years ago, the world was 2 degrees warmer Celsius than it is today. This is 2011. And although the gas may have exacerbated it, in the cosmos of time, it's not a fart in the wind. First of all, Bill Gates doesn't hang. Warren Buffett doesn't chill. Jeff doesn't hang. Steve didn't hang. Dan doesn't chill. Only losers hang. Only fucking losers chill. I don't give a fuck about the world. I don't give a fuck.
Daddy, chill.
But if you do, you create the wealth and then go save the world. Virtually all the money my wife and I give to charities are for Catholic-based orphanages and missions, etc. around the world. So I still remember the nuns and the fucking beatings I got. And they must have done something right for me because, you know, I'm giving them all my money. And my kids don't get a nickel from me when I die.
Come on!
Not one penny. And my kids say they're cool with it.
You sure about that?
Most of you have led bubble-wrapped lives. How many of you had bicycles with training wheels growing up? You know, the little fucking training wheels on the side? Why are the training wheels put on? So you don't fall over on your big fucking melon head, right? And if you do, as soon as they take the training wheels off and you fall on your melon head, what if mommy comes, oh, poor baby, poor baby. Okay. You have led a training-wheeled life all your life. You have led a bubble-wrapped life all your life. When I went away volunteer for the draft in 1966, and I was in boot camp, and everybody's complaining, I said, well, fuck, this is easier than living at home. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future.
That's one of your top friends.
It is. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. You want to know why you're all fucked up? Just look at the bums you hang around with.
Takes you off.
Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. When I look at the audiences, maybe only 1% are going to achieve their potential.
I feel great with those odds.
Not fully. I still haven't fulfilled my potential. But unfulfilled potential is man's greatest burden. And it breaks my heart because I know what you kids are capable of. I know I've had kids with 80 IQ to 180 IQ that I mentored that have done big deals. Actually, the 80 IQ did better than the 180 IQ. And I know what they're capable of. The true test of a leader is when you've trained other people to be leaders. It's in you, kids. I mean, you can do it.
Hey, are you good at checking your phone often? If you are, my team and I are looking to work closely with a few more people who want to earn an extra $3 to $4 grand per month from home, sending messages on your phone and just checking your phone. So if you're interested, go hit the link in my bio so that me and my team can message you back all of the details. Please note when you hit link in bio, get details today. Not a bot, it's really me and my team messaging you back. I just think it's more transparent that way. And if you can be one of the first to hit the link in bio and get these details, I can guarantee that we will be able to get you one-on-one coaching and one-on-one support with this as well, which I think is absolutely critical. So if you're interested, go hit the link in my bio, $3 to $4 grand per month from home using the scrolling method and checking your phone. So go hit the link in the bio and we will message you all the details.
You only have 2 times to make a first impression. One's how you look. 2, what comes out of your mouth. Okay? A lot of guys and gals look the part, but as soon as they open their mouth, they are engaging in self-sabotaging activity. If global warming is for real, they won't put it that way, global warming happens and water rises 10 feet, this investment you made is fuck all. Not one single investment prospectus written since 2000, this century, has alluded to global warming. Not one motherfucker. If it were really true, the banks wouldn't invest. The banks wouldn't finance. Not one motherfucking condominium. So the people that have the money, and I'm jealous of the Vice President, Gore, which Sally and I rode on a plane from South America with a few years ago. I am jealous he came up with a scam before I did.
Because the financial institutions, the banks of this world know it's not going to happen. Otherwise, you couldn't get a goddamn loan in London. You know those 30, 40-year mortgages? The world will be over by then. Is Barclays Bank going to give you a motherfucking loan? With the greatest respect, ma'am, it's the greatest fraud that's been perpetrated on mankind this century. You have no idea how limitless you are when you don't care what other people think or say about you. 98% of the high-performance people on the planet are not alpha males.
Explain that.
Okay? They're beta males, okay? Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, all have one thing in common. They're introverts. They're not alpha males. I don't give a shit. Nobody, don't you understand? Nobody cares about all the trials and tribulations of your fucking weak cunt lives. Don't you understand that? What the fuck do I have to do here? You fucking morons. But most of you don't have, and I say generally speaking, most of you don't have faith in yourselves because you got low self-esteem, no self-confidence. You look like shit. You dress like shit. And you blame it on the 21st century, the reason why you dress the way you do. 25 years ago, if you come to a seminar like this, you'd all be wearing suit and tie. 40 years ago, the women would be wearing hats. This is my uniform. I don't go to sleep like this, but I mean, this is my uniform. It has been for a long, long, long time. Dress, if you want to get money from banks, dress like the president or the prime minister of your country. You only have one time to make a first impression, kids. You come in looking like some of you, I wouldn't give you fucking toilet paper. The high-performance people, the kids that are on the Hall of Fame, my Hall of Fame, have 4 or 5 characteristics. I'm going to name just 2 or 3 of them. Number 1, they give up social media, unless they're selling on it. Number 2, they work at a standing desk. Everybody understand a standing desk? Standing desk. Number 3, they have a treadmill under the desk and it goes at 4 kilometers an hour. 4 kilometers seems to be the maximum where you can still work and do a standing desk. Number 4, they work out 3 to 5 times a week between 30 and 60 minutes a day. Not for 6 packs, not for 4 or 7 or 8% body fat, but just to be generally fit. And last but not least, they eat healthy. That means different things to different people. Doesn't mean vegan, doesn't mean vegetarian, some just eat meat. But 90% of all my high-performance kids do all those things I just mentioned. And the last thing, or the 6th thing, is they make all their employees, their family, their wife, their kids, their parents, accountable. Mom, is this an important call? I'll talk to you over the weekend. Thanks, Mom. Click. Dad, are you in the hospital with a heart attack? It's not? Okay, I'll call you over the weekend. Click. Our children have to call with one of my 4 assistants to make an appointment with me to get me on the phone. Bill Gates keeps his diary, his calendar, in 6-minute increments. 6 minutes. So in an hour he has 10 meetings. Most people can't say hello in 6 minutes. Remember I said yesterday, success leaves clues? How many of you can raise your hand with, how many of you have kids? How many of you would like to have your kids grow up just like your parents? You know the answer, don't you? Close to 0. Because they were shitty role models. Now, I'm not going to ask the second question. How many of you would like your kids to be like you? You've been trained, keep your head down, don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass the family, don't say things that may not happen. And I do just the opposite. I tell you to set goals beyond your lifetime. I tell you to set goals as soon as humanly possible. 87% of everybody that walks the face of the earth, 7.65 billion people, are unhappy. Because most people are living hand to mouth. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't follow their dream. You can't have a dream come true unless you have a dream. I do what you don't want to do, that you know that you got to do to be where you want to be. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett. Success leaves clues, kids.
I just named 5 of the greatest names in business in the last 150 years. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're f***ing hungry. Hungry for a better life. Hungry for change.
I don't want to be like that.
No, most people don't.
I want to be liked.
Yeah, well, see, you want to fit in. You think Elon Musk wants to fit in? We know the answer is no, right? You want to fit in because you had poor role models at home. Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded. You think life is a journey for the Trump kids? It's a motherfucking process, the same process his daddy raised him by. But if you want to create some fucking money, and money's not everything, but if you don't think money can buy happiness, you don't know where to fucking shop. You can get money and then go save the world. You can get money and save the forests in Brazil. But without money, you can't save a fucking thing. Don't you understand? Until you make some fucking coin, you can't help anybody.
Fuck your team's meeting and fuck teams. Your bullshit team's meeting could have been an email, but instead, there you are, pretending to be interested, while Michael from marketing takes a mighty shit, put his microphone unmuted. How the fuck do people still not know how to mute and unmute their microphones after all this fucking time? Fuck me.